Hello, everyone. My guest today is Eric Apfelbach. He is the CEO of Pegex. Prior, he was the CEO of InSync Energy in the distributed energy, utility, and building markets. Now focused on the digital transformation of the waste industry. Eric, you ready to take us to the top?
Ready to go.
All right. So what is Pegex working on, and what's the revenue model? Is it a kind of a pure play SaaS model?
Yeah, Pegex is actually a hybrid tech-enabled services company. We started out as a tech-enabled kind of waste broker years ago. And then a few years ago, we added on a pure play SaaS model and did a full stack development of our own SaaS platform in the waste business. So now we operate with revenue from both sources.
That's interesting. And just so we can understand quantity here, over the past 12 months, what percent would you say was kind of consulting or a brokerage business, it sounds like, versus the pure play SaaS revenue?
Yeah, the majority of our revenue still is from the brokerage, tech-enabled brokerage side. And then now we're kind of blending because we, like I said, we're growing our SaaS revenue pretty quickly. But we launched that in mid last year. So our SaaS revenue is now is probably based in about 8 customers, and we're a platform play, and our average annual sales amount for those SaaS customers is probably about $30,000 a year.
Okay.
So that's more of a platform play.
Yeah, but Eric, I mean, if you take 8 customers at $2,500 a month, I mean, that's $20,000 a month already in revenue from pure play SaaS product.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So right now our overall revenue is between 7 and 8 million, of which about 50% is recurring revenue. And in the hazardous waste business, we have about 6,000 customers, and we operate nationwide. So, about half of our customers are recurring, and we have a blend because we have some that just do brokerage, some that use our portal off our platform, and some that are pure play SaaS customers.
Besides these pure, so I want to talk through each of these revenue streams in order of most SaaS to least SaaS. Most SaaS, you've got 8 customers, $30,000 ACVs, just launched recently. What's the next kind of most like recurring revenue line?
We have a lot of large waste generators that in our industry did not have any technical capability whatsoever, and that really was the purpose of our platform. So we have portals and highly developed digital front end on the marketing side. So we have generators and waste vendors, we call them, the people with the trucks, that we operate that whole network of about 2,000 vendors across the country. And so the vendor network we've worked with for years, and that group that uses our portal.
That's
right?
the vendor.
So
vendors use the portal?
Exactly. So they can now transact business with their customers and have location services and truck services as they go do their business.
And what
do you
charge?
We call those kind of hybrid customers. And then on the low end, we have, the guys
Hold on. Before we go off
waste.
that one real quick, Eric, those 2,000 vendors across the country to use your portal, what do you charge per month for that?
It depends if they're using us for their services or not. If we do their services, then it's included in us doing their services. We roll it in. So the portal is really, in that case, intended to be something that makes it more sticky.
Yep.
If you're a SaaS customer, you actually pay extra for having that portal.
What's that? What's the upsell for the portal?
We don't disclose that, but it's one of the modules on our platform.
Can you give me a range? I mean, are we talking like 100,000 a year or 1,000 a year? Can you give me a range?
Oh, for the portal?
Yeah.
No, if you thought about a SaaS customer right now on that portal, you might be, depending on number of users, it might be between 10 and 20,000 a year. And again, we have customers that range from guys with 1 truck to guys with 400 trucks. So we tend to scale it with a number of endpoints on that portal.
So across the 2,000 vendors, how many total trucks are you managing?
Boy, that's a good question. I don't actually know the answer to that, but I would say that our 2,000 vendors probably are operating many thousands of trucks, and not all of them are on our portal. But it's a massive network that we run. We're the largest waste network across the country.
Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to tally up is because that is true recurring revenue. I mean, if you've got $20,000 ACVs for people that use the portal, plus these 8 that are using your new product at $30,000 ACVs, I mean, that is real. I mean, that is true recurring revenue. Now, it sounds like what you're doing is you're building in that $20,000 ACV for the portal into your services plans for people that pay you to do their services as well. So it's hard to actually break them out. Is that right?
Well, that's true. And what's really cool about what we're doing right now is obviously the waste business is every day across the country. And since we're the largest operator on a tech platform in the country, and we are the number one organic search and paid search across the country.
For what? What terms? Give me some terms for that.
Hazardous. Look up hazardous waste would be the good one.
Okay.
Because we started in hazardous waste.
So these are like picking up from hospitals, needles that were used, things like that.
We do medical waste, but that's not as big of a piece of our business. We do a lot more industrial type waste. Okay. And so you'll see a landing page called Hazardous Waste Experts.
Yep.
And Hazardous Waste Experts is our landing page for coming into the Pegex network.
Yeah, not only that, it looks like you're being very smart. You must have, you say you're a waste guy, but you're a tech guy too, because this landing page, I'm in Austin right now. I looked up that and it's hazardwasteexperts.com/the URL with Austin, Texas on it. So you're dynamically serving landing pages based off geolocation.
Exactly. We have highly developed, so we know in our call center where calls are coming from, what they're, instantly. That goes right into our SaaS platform, by the way. We obviously run our company on our own SaaS platform. And then we track data all the way from an incoming call through the automation of the documents that these customers have to run through the EPA and the DOT. And then we automate all of their business across until their waste is terminated.
Yep. No, I love this. God, by the way, I got to say, it's so refreshing to talk to a CEO like you, because you're someone that, you're not like a marketing CRM from the Valley that's raised $500 million to build a $2 million company. What I love about what you're doing is you have real expertise about the space. You launched an agency model many, many years ago, and now you realize, oh my gosh, we can add a SaaS layer on top of this. And it sounds like that's scaling nicely now. When did you launch the company altogether? How many years ago?
It was started in 2002, and I came in about 3 years ago. And, I'm a chemical engineer and I used to be a waste generator, right? So I came in and I said, oh my God, these customers have huge compliance risk, huge knowledge gaps, lack of automation, lack of IT. It is the perfect place for an advanced SaaS platform.
Yep.
And nobody was in there. Why? Because it's hard.
It's unsexy.
Right. And so, but the amount of data and information these people need in their hand and the amount of downside they have, we have value drivers all across our platform right now that we can tap. And that's why we are big believers that we're going to be able to drive up our average contract value and add a lot of other features.
So let me, before I move on to more of your story, give me one last metric here, because I want to make sure I'm capturing all the true recurring SaaS. Of the 7 or 8 that you did or you're doing in terms of run rate right now, 7-8 million in revenue, what % is from the pure play SaaS, including the portal business you have? Would you say it's more than 50%?
If I included, no, it's the SaaS revenue right now is probably 20% of our recurring. Yeah, because we just launched it and we're building that quickly. But it is also the focus of the company.
But you've had the portal up for a while though, right?
The portal was it's about the same timing, because we built the portal on the SaaS platform and we released that at the same time. We had. The company started out when it was, quote, tech enabled. It was on a very advanced customized Salesforce platform. And so we ripped that out and replaced it with our own platform.
Got it.
Is what happened.
Okay. So of 7 to 8 million total revenue, 20% is SaaS, right? So we'll put that at about, you call it 1.5 million right now. And how many total customers do you have either using the portal or the pure play? You said 8 on the pure play SaaS, but how many on the portal?
That I don't actually know on the portal. Yeah, I don't actually have that answer.
No problem. Well, if you've got, let's assume 2,000, right? All the vendors that are using you, let's say they're on the portal, right? If they're paying, call it, $600 a month, that puts you that business line at about 1.5 million a year as you look to scale it. Now, obviously, you don't have all 2,000 on it, but that's a good sense of what your opportunity is to drive expansion and cross-selling.
Oh, exactly. We've got between the portal and the other modules of the SaaS platform, you've got to look at our SaaS platform, the modules. We do have our own call center integration, our own CRM, our own operating platform, and our document automation is all part of our platform and the portal. So people can come in, and we're an open platform, right? So we've done integrations to NetSuite. We're doing things with Salesforce. So we come in basically and form, sometimes we call it a mini ERP within the company, and then we interface to whatever systems they've got.
And what is so 12 months ago, exactly 1 year ago, what was the SaaS revenue? If you're at a 1.5 million run rate today, where were you a year ago?
0.
Okay, so you did just launch this in the past 12 months. Very cool. All right, back to the company, the macro company, everything, right? So 2002 launched. You came in 2 or 3 years ago. Call it 2016, 2017. What's the team size today?
We're at 42 people.
Okay, and have you guys bootstrapped the company or raised capital?
No, we've raised about 16 million total, but we bought back about $2.5 million of stock from the early investors. So we kind of net out at 13.5, I guess.
Why'd you buy out the early investors?
Pardon?
Why'd you buy out the early guys?
Well, they came into a early stage a brokerage company, and then when we went into software, some of them just were, wanted to get out, and we didn't. It was a lot of, we call them dogs and cats, right? So we were able to buy them out.
Yeah. Your most recent round was May 4th, 2018, I believe, your Series B with Plymouth, right?
Correct.
Yeah. That's great. That was almost a little over a year ago at this point. Typically, once you're on the VC track, you're raising almost once every 12 to 18 months. Are you raising right now? And if so, what's the right amount to raise?
Yeah, we're starting to look at that now, actually. We've got a lot of interest, and it's, we are starting to talk to people, and people love what we're doing. So we've had a lot of traction. So I think you could look at us maybe out in the market late this year, early next year.
Yeah. And what I know this is a total guess on your part, but what's the right amount to raise? Is it double the 8 you raised last time? You think 15 to 30 million is what you'd target, or what's the right amount?
Yeah, great question. It's in the 10 to 20 range.
Yeah. And then, again, you have to go in and negotiate things like valuation, but you think you can get away, raising, call it 10, 20 million and only selling, call it 10 to 20% of the company?
Well, we'll see. It's interesting times right now with some of the valuations you're seeing out there. And we check a lot of boxes for a lot of the people who want a true platform and true differentiated data capability across the country. Our combined market sizes, we targeted liquid waste, solid waste, haz waste, medical waste, and chemical distribution in our first wave of market penetration with the SaaS platform. We booked all of those segments, and the combined market size, that's $500 billion of market size that those guys operate in. All of them need the same technical and automation features that we have in the platform. So when we go in and look at it, and by the way, I got a kick out of your email today or yesterday on IoT because customers asking, hey, I need weight in my system, and I'm on a board of a company out in San Francisco that does IoT. I need weight, I need vision, I need all of these other sensors out in the field. So when you look at what we're doing and the size of the markets and the way we're going into it, nobody's got the kind of platform we do in these segments, and the amount of value we deliver is strong. So we're incredibly excited about it. Obviously, right now, valuation's an interesting thing. You have to go out and engage with the people with the money and see what they're willing to do.
By the way, look, I think you're in a healthy spot.
We can have a pretty good shot at it.
Yeah, I think you're in a healthy spot. Generally, as CEOs, in my opinion, as they start approaching a 1-to-1 ratio of their total revenue relative to what they've raised, so for you, net, it'd be 13.5 compared to 7 to 8 million in revenue. The closer you are to that 1-to-1 ratio, the more leverage you have. A lot of companies, it's like 5x. They've raised 5x funding relative to their revenue. You're not in that situation. I I could easily see you going out, let's say you're at 9 or 10 million by the end of the year, doing again, that's a 10X, that's $100 million. You can raise $20 million, you give up 20%. I mean, that seems like a pretty healthy Series C.
Right, exactly. And our turnover, we're going to have, if we lose a customer, I'll be amazed.
Do you have any gross revenue churn over the past 12 months?
No.
None.
I mean,
0%.
We're not going to have churn. And we have some of our brokerage customers that literally will go to the cheapest guy. They'll pick up the phone and just literally get the cheapest guy. And so we lose some of those guys. But on the software side, we have zero churn. And I would be amazed if we have any, because we're in the critical part of their business. They run their business on our software.
What do you believe? Do you know what expansion revenue is yet? In other words, the customers that signed up 4, 5, 6 months ago for, I'm making this up, $30,000 a year, have any of them upgraded to $35,000 or $40,000 or $50,000 contracts?
Not yet, but we've got a lot of that in the funnel right now. We've got a very serious land and expand capability, again, because we're adding modules like the portal. We just launched 8.5 million safety data sheets you can get on our platform.
How strong is that upsell muscle, though? I mean, do you feel confident you can expand accounts by 20% year over year, 50% year over year, more?
I think we'll be able to do 20 to 50%.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, between the feature sets and just the value in the platform, it'll be easy.
And Eric, what's your fully weighted CAC? So include ad spend, SEO people, marketing people, sales people to get a new $30,000 a year customer on the SaaS platform. Do you know?
Yeah, we haven't even started to track that yet. We know if we went and did the math, but because we're early on and trying to penetrate right now, we haven't even worried about CAC yet.
Yeah. And then last question, obviously you're driving growth. I mean, are you burning a ton of capital right now? Or are you back to close to break even?
Yeah, we're burning a little bit of capital, but not that bad. That's what's nice about having our core business operating, and so we're able to manage that pretty tightly. But we're definitely purposely burning some capital
you
right
should
now
be if you're growing.
Yeah, the feature sets we're being asked to deliver. We love the customers, since we have real customers in every segment. They're coming to us with things that you'd be crazy not to want to do faster.
Yeah.
Because the ROI for them and us is phenomenal.
Eric, when you say a little though, I mean, are you talking 10 grand a month or 100 grand a month or more?
I would say our burn rates, between 1 and 200K a month.
Okay, so that's not bad. You always just want to make sure you obviously manage burn relative to the next fundraise. You don't want to be stuck where you have to raise money next month, otherwise you're cooked. You're obviously sounds like not in that situation.
Right. No, that's the game.
All right, very good. And then last question: overall growth rate of the entire business. So you said earlier the SaaS company had no growth, infinity growth because they had nothing a year ago. But what was the agency doing a year ago in terms of run rate? Do you remember?
The
whole bit. So today you're doing like 8 million in terms of run rate across the entire business. What was the run rate a year ago, would you say?
Well, we were at 3.5 or 3.7 million of revenue in 2016 when I got here. So we've grown from 3.7 up to almost 8 this year.
Yeah, that's good. That's obviously good growth. Very good.
Right.
And then last question, you talked a little bit about the IoT email that I sent out. I do believe the landing page of 2021 is going to be hardware. Literally.
Right.
I mean, these were the cohorts of customers that IoT companies have signed up and then launched SaaS on the back end. The churn is almost always zero because the hardware is lock-in basically and stickiness, and the expansion is through the roof. Do you have a hardware play in mind?
Yes, definitely. As I mentioned, there are use cases right now where people have to redistribute pharmaceuticals, right? Thousands of transactions a day in California, for instance, forced to be done. They need to weigh the drugs in those bins that they return them to. We have people with tanks, used oil, 1.5 billion gallons a year of used oil spread around the country. They need level sensors in those tanks. A SaaS platform can automate the collection and route planning of all the used oil in the country, but nobody's done it yet. So these are all use cases you'll see coming out on our platform in order to automate these complex businesses. And the sensor model is very leveraged because we can make a lot of money and save our customers a lot of money.
Yep. Listen, we're out of time. I very much enjoyed this, but let's quickly wrap up, Eric, with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite business book?
Oh, Good to Great.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I follow Mark Benioff quite a bit.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your business?
Boy, that's a good question. Online tool. We use Slack. Kind of pros and cons with it.
Yeah. Number 4, how many hours of sleep you get every night?
Lately, about 5.
5. That's good. And what's your situation? Married, single, kiddos?
Yeah, married, 2 grown kids.
That's right. Does anyone ever tell you that you remind them of Joe Biden?
No.
You never get that?
I haven't heard that.
That's interesting. I could see it a little bit. You might have some, if he does well here, you might be asked to go on SNL and play Joe Biden for a night or something.
I'll have to start working on my,
I wouldn't touch that, by the way. I think you're doing something much more fun in waste management. All right.
Exactly. Politics has never been something I've aspired to.
Yeah, me either. All right. And how old are you?
58.
Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Oh, I think just pursue what you're really passionate about and stick to it no matter what happens.
Guys, Pegex.com launched in 2002, now really redefining the waste management industry. Over 2,000 fleet vendors and then another whole set of generators use them across the country. They're doing $8 million a year in revenue. Just launched a SaaS platform about 12 months ago, already doing about $1.5 million in run rate just on the SaaS platform. They've raised about $13.5 million, burning call between $100,000 to $100,000 a month with their team of 42 people, hoping to potentially do their Series C in Q4 2019 or Q1 2020, hopefully 10 to $20 million at a healthy valuation. Eric, thanks for taking us to the top.
You bet. Thank you.